Hello, my name is Mark, and I have a problem. I'm being haunted by glorified memories of spring rolls I had in the past, but I can't get them here. So in this episode we'll be making paper-thin pastry, sweet chili sauce and Chinese sausages, and we'll be putting them together to try and reproduce those spring rolls. Let's get cooking!
Okay, let's start with the chili sauce. It's difficult to give you an exact recipe, because it all depends on how spicy your chilies are and how spicy you like it. I would go for a fairly mild chili such as a serrano and let it make up anywhere between 20 and 50% of the total weight of your chili sauce. If you can, cut them up coarsely and let the food processor do the rest of the work. Then chop up a clove of garlic and saute it in a bit of oil. Add the chili, about half the target weight in sugar and let that mingle for a bit. Add a good few plugs of fish sauce, maybe about 2 tablespoons. To thicken it, we will be using a bit of potato starch. Cornstarch will work just as well, but will be a bit more cloudy. To help keep the chili bits suspended in the sauce, you can add a bit of santan gum as well. Vigorously stir it into the starch to stop it from clumping up later. Add water to make a slurry, then add the mix to your chilies while stirring. Add a squeeze of lime and a splash of vinegar. Then taste to make sure you've got the balance of sweet, salty and acidic right, and adjust as necessary. Now it's okay if the sauce still seems a little bit thin. Once it has cooled down, it will thicken out a bit more. Put it in a pretty container, refrigerate, and your homemade sweet chili sauce is ready. Let's make some sausages. We start out with about half a kilo of pork belly or similar cut with about a third fat. Then we separate the fat from the lean meat. We are looking for a coarse texture, so we're cutting both the lean meat and the fat by hand. Meat is a perishable product, so while processing the fat, keep the lean meat in the fridge and vice versa. Once the fat is chopped, we're going to candy it in a bowl. Let's put a layer of fat in there, sprinkle over a bit of sugar, then a layer of fat, then a layer of sugar, then a layer of fat. You get the gist. Then there is the lean meat, and we will be chopping and mincing that similarly. However, this time around, we will be flavoring it with a marinade. We start off with a good splash of Shaoxing wine and a bit of rose water, which will take the place of the traditional but very expensive rose wine. Then we add some light soy sauce. This will add saltiness and umami to the marinade without coloring it too much. We also add some 5-spice powder and 2 chopped up cloves of garlic as well as a teaspoon of salt. Mix in all the ingredients until evenly incorporated and along with the fat, allow it to marinate overnight. The next challenge is stuffing your sausages. Now, while I do own a meat grinder with a sausage stuffing attachment, I'm not a fan and I don't expect you to go run out and get one. At the end of the batch, you will be left with a funnel full of sausage meat in the attachment. Besides, if you're like me, you probably don't make sausages all the time. You probably have no trouble finding a plastic bottle somewhere. It takes about 2 minutes to make one of these. It's just a ring around a ring, and hooking up your sausage casing and a freezer bag to it will make stuffing your sausage a breeze. Of course, it's not entirely without issues. If things aren't firmly in place, they may pop out. But it's a pretty big step up from using a funnel. Oh, and one more thing, since you're stuffing your sausages front to back with this method rather than the other way around, every now and again you will need to push the sausage meat to the end of the sausage, and you will need to keep your sausages shorter than with a professional stuffer. Having said that, you will end up with a plate full of sausage in no time. We are now getting ready to dry out the sausages. To portion your sausages, give them a twist and cut them at the knob. Prick them all over with a skewer. This will help them dry out. Then stick them in an oven preheated at about 72 Celsius or 162 Fahrenheit. They are going to stay in there for 10 hours straight to dehydrate, to pasteurize and to concentrate their flavor. Occasionally, you will have to rearrange them to make sure they dry out evenly. It also helps to stack them like this to allow the air in the oven to circulate around them. As there are no preservatives in these sausages, they won't keep for long. Eat them within the next couple of days or store them in the freezer. The traditional way of making spring roll pastry goes something like this. Mix together about equal amounts by weight of bread flour and water. It should end up having a pasty consistency, not unlike sourdough discard, aka lockdown Tamagotchi. Cover, then leave to develop in the fridge for about 4 hours. After that, really work it until it starts pulling ropes and coming loose from the ball. Get your perfectly seasoned wok onto low heat, then quickly swish your ball of gloop over the surface. Fix any holes as needed and leave to dry. Then peel off the sheet and repeat. Unfortunately, clearly this technique is far too hard for me. It takes far too much precision, the seasoning on my wok is rubbish and I don't have the patience. If only there was an easier way. Well, guess what? There is a simpler way to make paper thin pastry. Put a wide pan with boiling water on the hob and stick your least sticky non-stick surface on top. That's your temperature control sorted. Measure out about this much self-raising flour and that much water and stir it, and as long as it's thicker than milk you should be fine. Oh no, it went lumpy. Whatever shall we do? Alright, let's have a little bit of fun now. Load up your 2-inch pastry brush with some batter and very lightly brush it onto your non-stick surface. Use just the lightest touch. Pew! Easy as that. Don't worry if it leaves a few holes. You can always cover them with more batter. You can make these sheets any shape you want. I am making rectangles, but maybe in your kitchen you're making another dish and you want circles or triangles. It's all very therapeutic, isn't it? And about as exciting as watching paint dry. Let's hurry things up a little. If you do this yourself, you don't have to. You can go as fast or slow as you want. Once the edges of your pastry sheet start curling up, you can gently peel it off. I mean, seriously, be gentle. Do you see how thin that sheet is? For the best crunch, you might want to go slightly thicker. And when wrapping your spring rolls, maybe double or triple up the sheets with a very thin layer of oil in between. And there you have it, a happy little pastry sheet. Let's give him a little friend. We're getting closer to our goal. On the plate are 2 pastry sheets with a thin layer of oil brushed in between. We put a leaf of lettuce on top as a moisture barrier. Then a teaspoon of fermented brown bean sauce, a true flavor bomb. Next are fried shallots, shaved mouli and some carrot strips. We kept our sausage in the freezer, so it's easy to slice thinly. Of course we'll add some slices of that as well, along with some king prawn. And with that, we're ready to roll. This will be a roll-shaped feast. So fold over the sides of the roll to the middle. Then roll up tightly, making sure to place it with the seam down. And presto, your roll is ready to fry. Fry your delicious spring roll at 180 Celsius or about 350 Fahrenheit. It will be ready when it's beautifully golden brown. Drain to remove excess oil and serve with your homemade chili sauce. Then take a moment to appreciate the work of art you created. Did it turn out crispy? I think you'll agree that it did. But was it the flavor of my youth? Honestly, I can't remember, but by this point, who cares? Let's nom! And that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Other than that, see you next time. Bye bye.